It's been 1 week since Iran agreed to a deal to temporarily constrain its controversial nuclear program. And already the Islamic Republic is saying it needs to build more nuclear power plants. Really? Even with an agreement? Well, many world powers are applauding that interim deal with Iran as a very promising first step. But reaching a final comprehensive agreement, preventing them from reaching a nuclear weapon, still faces plenty of hurdles. Joining me now is Naftali Bennett, Israel's Minister of Economy and a member of Israel's Security Cabinet. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Initially, when you heard about this agreement, and now that you've had a chance to think about it, does it meet the needs of Israel?
It doesn't meet the needs of the Western world at all, because essentially it doesn't take apart even one centrifuges. It leaves all 18,500 Iranian centrifuges intact. And all it does is temporarily halt production, which anyway Iran has halted, because Iran's plan is not to produce a nuclear bomb tomorrow. It's to wait a few months, perhaps half a year or a year, for an opportune moment when the West is preoccupied with something, and then break out. And this is exactly according to Iran's plan.
What do you make then of Iran now saying that it does need to continue to enrich, continue to grow its nuclear power capability?
Well, I think it shows that this agreement is falling already apart in some measure, because the sanctions have gone down. The sanctions regime has been eased. And at the same time, they're continuing progress in the heavy water reactor at Arak and other elements. What we need now to focus is not on the bad deal that has been achieved, but what we do next. There's a 6-month period. The big question is what happens at the end of the 6 months. We urge the entire world to focus on a clear definition. Either at the end of those 6 months, Iran dismantles its entire nuclear production machine, or it faces unprecedented sanctions. That should be the sole goal of these 6 months. Either or. Just want to point out that right now, as we're speaking, Iran is developing intercontinental missiles. They already have missiles that reach Israel. These missiles are not targeted for Israel because that they already have. These missiles are targeted for the rest of the world, for the United States and other locations. So Iran does not have peaceful goals. We have to be very decisive about applying heavy measures at the end of the 6 months if they don't dismantle their machine.
If this agreement is not in Israel's interest and it's an interim 6-month agreement, did it move Israel closer to unilateral action, including military action against Iran?
I think when Iran is left at its devices to speed towards acquiring a nuclear weapon, and when at the same time they're explicitly talking about wiping off Israel from the planet Earth, well, obviously it means that we have to be prepared for anything. And I'll be very clear, Israel has the ability to defend itself, and it will defend itself. So to that aspect, or to that extent, yes, a bad deal makes the need for an action closer.
At the end of the 6 months, since there has been some quote-unquote applauding of this effort by the Obama administration and some of our other nations that are involved in the agreement, what is your specific message to our government, the United States, your ally, of what your expectation is at the end of this 6-month period? Talk to them and tell them what you demand.
Well, you know, we're talking to the administration, and we have good connections with the administration. My message to everyone is very clear. This is our last chance to prevent the need of any other measures. This is the last chance to prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear power and creating a whole Middle East full of nuclear powers, be it Saudi Arabia, Egypt, or Syria. Only by creating an either-or situation where Iran either gives up its nuclear weapons or it faces a tremendous increase in the sanction regime, that's the only way where we can prevent all this from happening, and it's possible. It's up to the West to be very determined.
Naftali Bennett, Minister of the Economy in Israel, member of the Security Cabinet, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.